Hater.
What did you... What?
Hater.
I'm not a hater.
Yes, you are.
I am not a hater.
Yes, you are.
No, that hurts my feelings now.
You're a hater.
No, that hurts my feelings.
That you hate this movie. And I'm pointing out facts.
Hey everyone, Rev Kev here
Hello.
with Cameron.
Rev Kev, the
We're just-
world famous movie hater.
So we're pulling out of the movie theater now. Just saw Captain Marvel.
Can't enjoy a Star Wars film, can't enjoy a Marvel film anymore.
That's not true. I enjoy, you know what? I enjoy so many movies. There are so many movies that I've absolutely loved. I went to go see Alita Battle Angel without you. I brought Mom to go see it. Loved every second of that movie. That movie was beautiful, brilliant, good characters. We got to go see it. You'd love it.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk Captain Marvel. Let's talk
good.
Captain Marvel.
It was good.
That was the longest 2 hours of my life.
You are such a hater.
I am not a hater. I'm not a hater. I just like good stories and interesting characters in a movie. That was painful.
It was not.
To watch.
It wasn't. Okay, I'm not going to say it was good,
Okay,
but it wasn't awful.
like, the only good actor in that movie was Samuel L. Jackson. Like, every scene he was in was fantastic, because I love Samuel L. Jackson. He's so good.
He was in most scenes.
And Coulson.
He was in most.
Everyone else was so bad. What, like, all of them. Like, even like the Skrull, like the guy playing the main Skrull, he was pretty terrible.
I'm not here to say any of it was good.
Okay,
But it
you
wasn't
start,
bad.
because if I'm obviously this big hater for not liking it.
Yeah. Okay, so this movie.
I shouldn't close my eyes while I'm driving.
You gonna let me start?
Yes, please do.
This movie was not bad. It did what I wanted it to do. It was a fun couple hours for me.
Okay, I'm glad you had fun.
Thank you.
The popcorn wasn't even good. The popcorn was stale too.
It's kind of subpar.
Yeah,
To be honest.
I was like, wow, subpar acting, subpar writing, subpar popcorn. That's pretty terrible.
You didn't have
Sorry,
that
I'm
much
interrupting.
fun. Yeah. But
I liked hanging out with you.
Yeah, that was
You
cool.
know,
I guess.
I had good company.
It was good. Not here to say it was great, but Brie Larson, that's Captain America. I don't mind.
As Captain America?
Captain, shut
not-
your mouth. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Okay, you don't mind? Yeah.
I don't mind.
You don't mind?
Am I like ecstatic about this movie? No.
No.
Would have I ever asked for this movie? Absolutely not. We
Okay.
have it in front of us.
Yeah.
We can't
Yeah.
take it back.
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna be an end game. We
Uh-huh.
can't take that back. So at this point, I'm at a point where I'm just like, you know what? It was fine enough that
It's fine
I'll
enough.
just accept it.
Sure.
I'll accept it. You know
Okay.
what?
What was your favorite part of that movie? Again, not from I have to accept it because
Yeah.
it's there in my face now. What did you like? What was your favorite part of that movie?
Well, for one, obviously, standout is Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay, so we're gonna say Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And Cat.
I mean, whatever. Cat was whatever.
You know.
I'm a huge Ronan fan.
Yes.
I love Ronan.
Ronan's awesome. He
So for
needed
him
more
to-
screen time.
Yeah, he needed more screen time, but it's kind of like that.
But you
It's kind of
can't-
like a Darth Vader Rogue One thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what happens to this character in the long run.
And that's
you
why
just
you
throw him in there as a little tease. Like,
And that's why you couldn't do
throwback.
anything with them.
This was a really good novelty film, in that sense. You know,
Okay.
like the Tesseract pops up out of nowhere, and you're
Yeah.
kinda like, oh, that's pretty cool. Ronan pops up out of nowhere. The Kree or the Skrulls, which obviously you knew were gonna pop up, but story-wise, it's kind of leading to different things, like Secret Invasion
Right.
down the road. For those of
Right.
you who don't know what that is, I urge you to look up Secret Invasion.
It's a good comic book series.
Yeah,
actually.
good
It
comic
was
book
really,
series.
Really good.
Just read the brief kind of description of what goes down there, because that seems to be what they're going to be moving towards. I'm guessing for Avengers 5, maybe Avengers 6. I believe they're going to be doing some Secret Invasion in combination, I've heard, with some Secret Wars stuff. Now, as far as, again, Brie Larson, I don't mind. Okay, I'll let you talk because you didn't get that much
Oh my
screen
goodness.
time in the last video.
It was. I didn't hold my interest in any way whatsoever. Like, you're trying to be funny, but it's not funny. You're trying to be cool, but it comes off as cringy. Yeah, no Wonder Woman. No Wonder Woman.
I thought it was better than Wonder Woman.
Oh, you're insane, dude.
I'm
I love
not
you.
insane.
I
I'm
love
not
you.
insane.
Okay, no. Compare Captain Marvel the character and Wonder Woman the character.
Captain Marvel.
Shut up!
I
There
don't
is
like
no
Wonder Woman.
way!
I don't like Wonder
There's
Woman.
no way!
I don't like Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I don't like Gal Gadot as
Oh
Wonder
my goodness,
Woman.
she was so good.
No.
So good.
It
Anyway,
was-
so this movie.
Yeah.
Again, and we were talking about this coming out of the theater. I am a nitpicker when it comes to story. Look, it's what I do. Like
Hater.
I'm not a hater. Story, see, there's just certain rules. When you begin to tell a story, you can't start to tell a story one way and then halfway or 10 years into the story change the story. It breaks it for me. It'd be like having the Fellowship of the Ring and having Frodo have the ring, and then you kind of go, oh, well, no, we changed our mind. We don't want Frodo to have the ring. And suddenly, you know, without any explanation, Aragorn has the ring in a completely different part of Middle-earth. And it's like, wait a minute, how did he get that? Where did that show up?
I
So this
want to
whole
hear your
thing-
examples of that
Right,
because that's such
so-
an extreme idea
Absolutely.
that
So,
I can't see in the
so
film.
the
at
whole
all.
thing was building up, you know, so Nick Fury is building this Avengers initiative, and he's building it up, you know, and he's doing all of this secretly, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is secretly working on stuff, developing all these different science and technology. You know, they make Captain America. Captain America is the first Avenger, not Captain Marvel.
She's not an Avenger.
Okay.
She's not an Avenger.
Well, she is by the end of this one.
No, she's not.
Okay. Anyways, so, and even Ant-Man and the Wasp, when they were working,
Horrible
when
film.
it was Hank Pym, again, it was all science. It was all science. It wasn't aliens. It wasn't aliens. It wasn't aliens. It wasn't interdimension. It was all science. But then Thor shows up. Thor shows
Ant-Man
up.
and the Wasp was way
I know,
later than
but Nick Fury makes the comment, the reason they had to start making these bigger weapons and studying the Tesseract and making a deterrent was because of Thor.
something
It's
that
because
could
they-
easily be explained by the idea that
Because
they
they
couldn't-
learned about the Asgardians, not because they learned about the Krees and the Skrulls first.
Why would they say that to these people that they're trying to recruit? Why would they go up to these guys and be like, by the way, there's this insane creature and alien race that's out inside of our world, all these people living among us. Why would they say that to these people who are only going to know each other and
Right.
their only
But they
job
said
right
it to the
now-
Avengers, so they're sitting there going, why did you have to develop all these weapons? Why did you have to develop all these weapons? Easy answer, because they've been here on Earth, and we have to protect the Earth from these aliens who
You
have
don't
shown
say
up
that.
before. Why not?
Because, okay, let's say in a real
They're all
practical
on the
sense.
same
A real-
team.
yes, they are on the same team. Yes, they are on the same team. And here's the thing: you can go ahead and work for the top of the government. You can go ahead and work for a high level in the government in the U.S., but you still don't know what goes on in Area 51.
Right. So, and you know what? And Captain America made the line once, or I can't remember who, or Iron Man said it. Tony Stark said it, right? That, you know, Nick Fury is the spy of spies. Like, his secrets have secrets.
Yes.
Okay, I get all that. So you can twist it around and say, but that was such a big deal that humanity, I mean, yes, you had all this science and you had all these bad guys, you know, up on Earth, but it wasn't until Thor introduced the ultimate, the dimensions and the other realms and really the other aliens. It was in Thor. And
No,
then
no,
to
no.
turn
See,
around
and
and
this
say, yeah,
is
no,
where-
it's not Thor now,
No,
it's
no.
the Kree and the Skrull.
See, and this is where you get it,
It all
kind of
breaks
twisted. Because Thor isn't an alien. This is when we're talking about, like,
Right,
the
Thor's from another
gods in
realm.
the universe.
Well, no, he was
Yes,
never. No,
yes,
he
he
wasn't
was.
a god. They're from another realm, and they were perceived as gods
Yes.
to humanity, weaker humanity.
Yes.
Right, but they were not actually gods, and Thor never actually called himself that we were gods. They always said no, we're Asgardians.
No.
Yeah.
They refer to themselves as gods. Captain America didn't refer to them as gods.
Right. So anyway, all
Not
this
right. Yeah,
so,
I'm right.
No, you're not right. So
Then why
because
did you just say I'm right?
Because it's my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna talk on my YouTube. So, anyways, the movie was meh.
Agreed. It was bad,
It was.
but it wasn't awful.
See, and you know what? I didn't like Doctor Strange all
I
that
didn't
much
like Doctor
either.
Strange.
Right? Even though I'm a huge Cumberbatch fan, love the guy. I think he's a phenomenal actor. But these Marvel movies are becoming so cardboard and so
You say
predictable.
that after we just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, and you enjoyed that movie.
You know what? Because
it's an awful movie.
Because it's not Paul Rudd is hilarious.
Just because somebody's funny, your mind that makes it not carbon cut. That's why Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is gold, because it has comedy.
Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the best Marvel movies done.
Yeah, I probably agree with you.
Thank you.
It's
okay. Because it was fresh and it didn't fit the mold. They did something different.
Yes,
And so I respect Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp for attempting to do something different. This wasn't anything different. I could watch Iron Man at the exact same time, or I could watch Doctor Strange at the exact same time, I could watch Black Panther at the exact same time, and it will hit the same beat again and again and again. And Marvel's got this formula to print money, and that's what they're in the business of doing, of making money. So they're just printing money, printing money, printing money. And I'm just getting bored. I'm just getting bored.
You can't say this after one movie.
Of course I can.
No, you can't.
I said it after Doctor Strange.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You
I
said
the-
how
I said-
it's like
I said
Iron Man.
I said the most interesting character in Doctor Strange was the cape. And same as this one, the most interesting character in Captain Marvel
You
is
realize
the cat.
Doctor Strange was back in 2017, right?
Sure.
And then all of 2018, you didn't have any problems with any of those movies.
Well, what were the movies that came out then?
Black Panther,
Yeah, I liked it.
Infinity War,
Well, yeah, Infinity War was incredible because it didn't fit the mold. It was so
And-
radically different.
and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That was the best Marvel movie ever made.
You're lying.
I'm lying.
So those three movies, and then we won't count Venom because that's Sony thing.
Yeah, Venom was
garbage.
Venom
but
had
that's
some
a Sony
potential,
thing.
but it was terrible.
Yeah. So the three movies, right after seeing Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And no, Doctor Strange was further back because since we got Thor Ragnarok as well,
And I didn't like that.
you didn't like that, but not because of its carbon cut.
I didn't like Thor. Again, what I didn't like about Thor Ragnarok
Is it
is when you
changed things.
change the story. So Thor, this cocky, arrogant god of thunder, and now he's trying to be Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Chris Hemsworth, he's bored. He wants to do something different and want to, shake up the character. So I want to be more like Star-Lord. I'm like, you're not Star-Lord. You're Thor.
No, I'm on your side for that thing, but here's
So
the
that's what I
thing.
didn't like about it.
We're talking about in the carbon copy sense.
Yes,
I think Doctor Strange may have even been back at the end of 2016.
that's possible. Yeah, it was
Which
a while
means
ago.
all the movies since, I haven't heard from you complain about carbon copy. Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, out of the 20-something, 25 movies that they've done.
22 movies, I think they've done now, something like that.
That's
But-
20 films where I haven't heard you complain about carbon copy, and now because of this one, you're saying Marvel movies are becoming
That's what I
carbon
just said.
copy
Because
instead.
now that's the pattern. Now they are becoming this.
What is?
There's
two movies.
These origin stories and it's an origin story, so it has to follow the same beat. It's because that's what it does. I'm getting bored.
Of origin movies.
I'm getting bored of these origin movies.
Say that
And-
then.
Right,
I don't have a
so-
problem with
so
you
I'm
saying
getting
that.
bored of these
But you're
origin
saying
movies.
like you have a problem with the Marvel movies that they're all becoming carbon copy.
Well, the origin. But then you do these other ones. They're different. Like obviously, Avengers is something radically different. And
But there's been so many movies. You're talking Ant-Man and the Wasp, which you like. Black Panther, which was an origin story.
Yes.
But you actually like Black Panther.
well, and again, what I liked about Black Panther the most was the bad guy.
But at least it's something
He-
different.
He was the most interesting.
But the storyline was different from a regular Marvel movie.
no, it was a guy who comes to thing and then he loses and then he wins.
That's every movie.
It's every superhero movie.
That's any movie.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a character
Yeah.
that faces loss,
Yeah.
and this is the most basic structure in every film.
Right.
There's a character who faces loss,
Of course.
and then redeems and
Right.
wins.
Yes.
So you're getting bored of movies.
No, I'm not. I'm getting bored of Marvel movies that are just mailing it in. Like it seems like they're not even making an effort in some of these films. Like this one, I mean, come on, this one, it just looked like they phoned
No,
this in.
I agree. I agree with you completely.
The whole movie just felt like, you know what? You're gonna go see it anyways. We're gonna make $1 billion.
I don't need you to like
anyways.
this movie.
Yeah.
I don't need you to like any of them, to be honest. I'm just saying, like, don't discredit all the Marvel movies because
I'm not
they have.
discrediting all the Marvel movies.
No, but you're saying you're gonna be getting bored of all the Marvel movies.
I said, well, if this is gonna be the pattern, and it's just and they're gonna like just.
But we don't know that because the only signs of that being the case have been you saying Doctor Strange back in 2016 and this movie in 2019.
Right.
A 3-year gap.
No, I'm not saying that. But I lost my train of thought now.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
No, it does. My biggest beef with all of this is that you build a cinematic universe. James, thanks for jumping in. My son and I are ripping apart my movie critique skills. My biggest beef is when you break down
Hi,
the
T's
story.
fandom.
Hey, how's it going, T? Well, when your story is inconsistent, it drives me nuts. Another great example. We watched The Matrix recently.
Yeah.
Last summer, I think I introduced you to that.
Yeah.
Matrix 2, in the first 5 minutes, Neo goes up against the bad guys in the suits, and suddenly Neo can't beat them anymore. And he goes, "Oh, upgrades." And I'm sitting there going,
Because that breaks everything.
because it
from
breaks the story.
first
Because in the first story, Neo could see the code. You could see the code. So I don't care if it's been upgraded. You can read the code, just change it.
Yeah.
So it breaks the story. So it's just my thing with movies when you're not consistent and you try to just jam something in there. It makes me feel like the writers don't even watch all the other movies. They don't watch the other movies. They just want to tell their story.
Yes,
and they expect us to just kind of forget all about.
Hey, Steven, what part we're talking about right now? Right now, we just kind of spoke about some general thoughts on the movie, but just to catch you up, right now we're talking about kind of just breaking down how he likes to nitpick movies and be a hater about everything.
I am not a hater about anything. Like, oh my goodness, like, man, when people go, "Oh, you're such a hater," it's like, dude, do you know me? Like, come and hang out with me at my house. I'm like, not a hater.
Review
Like,
Star Wars Episode 8. Review Star Wars Episode 7. Review Episode 9. It hasn't even come out yet. Because I know you're going to hate that
I'm
one.
not a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I can name 100 other movies that I loved and I cried and I laughed.
Empire Strikes Back.
No, recent movies still. You know what? My number one movie right now that I've probably seen in the longest time, Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge was, oh my goodness.
But it's a story about a guy who faces trouble and then wins in the end. Oh no! Every movie is now the same!
He didn't win in the end. He got all shot up and he had to get flown back home.
Did he die?
No.
So did he win?
But I'm just saying, it's like, so yeah, I just saw a comment, I missed it here because the way
It
my
said,
phone is set up. It's
I
like,
think,
it's on the writing. I think was it James who said it?
no,
Anyways,
it was,
okay, we're
oh,
going
here we
over-
go.
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah, James, it's all
no,
in the writing. It's
yeah,
so
true.
important.
But then we
right?
got Steven here. Let's engage with
He's
some
saying,
of these guys.
I
thought Captain Marvel was very good in my top 10 MCU movies.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I mean, for me personally, I don't know. I have some trouble with that just because I do think there were areas where it was quite phoned in. I agree the acting wasn't great or anything, but I say if you're, here's the thing. Take these movies out of the context of the formula or whatnot.
Yeah.
If this was the first Marvel movie we ever got,
Right.
we would have said, wow, that was a pretty good movie. I'm sure we would have, if by taking itself away from the formula and
Right.
not comparing them to each other.
I actually disagree with that. Only because the movie is actually it's actually still too dependent on the universe that was built up around it. It's dependent on you already knowing who Nick Fury is. It's dependent on you already knowing who Shield is.
Okay. Yeah.
So if this was the very first MCU movie with absolutely nothing
No,
before it,
that's fair enough.
as it is, you'd be like, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
We got a
Right.
few more comments if you want to.
Oops. I gotta figure out a better way to keep them on the phone.
Yeah,
here,
I don't
like,
know. What'd you do first? Top chat?
I have no idea. Oh, there we
There we
go.
go. Okay, so I plan to do an animated series based on my novels, free to
Cool.
watch. We'll be
Looking
on the
forward to
lookout
seeing
for
that for sure.
And then Steven said again, Steven, sorry if I'm butchering it.
Yeah.
I like the major twist on how they made you care about the scrolls instead of just making the audience always hate them.
Yeah, I agree. I actually thought that was
unlike-
cool.
I thought that was pretty good.
But here's the thing, and it's not because I knew the
And
spoilers,
that's where, hold on.
but
And
I
that's-
knew that was coming. You know
Yeah.
why I knew that was coming?
Why?
Because they were Kree.
because they
And
were
the
Kree.
Kree
As soon
was
as I
already
saw-
established in
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy that they're the bad guys.
But I thought of it as soon as I saw Ronan. Then
Right.
I kind of got that idea. But at the same time, that's where I say strip it out of its Marvel Cinematic Universe
Right.
cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
That's at least something that you have to give credit is, at least if you're looking for that little bit of originality,
Yes.
it's taking the preconceived notion of the bad guy
Right.
and flipping the table.
Right.
The bad guy is the good guy and who you end up fighting for at the end,
Right.
and who you thought was on your side. And I know that's a fairly basic kind of storyline, plot line in multiple movies as well,
Yeah.
but it's not that basic cardboard cutout.
Right. You know what I was hoping they were gonna do?
What?
Here's the thing. So I read comic books in the 80s and the 90s. I don't read. I'm more of a DC guy, so maybe that's the problem. Yeah, exactly. You're a Marvel kid. How did I raise you? I don't understand. But anyways, where was I going with this? Captain Marvel for me was actually was it Monica Rambeau. So the character that's
Yeah.
in Captain Marvel, the other fighter pilot, is kind of loosely based on this Monica Rambeau. I can't remember if Monica was her name in Captain Marvel or in the
I
movie.
think they're gonna keep her daughter for something.
So
along
that's
the
what I
line.
was sitting there going. I was sitting there going, oh my goodness! I actually hope that something happens and that little girl gets Brie Larson's get Captain Power's power.
Yeah.
And then in Avengers Endgame, it's not Brie Larson. It's not the Captain Marvel that's introduced. But it's the Captain Marvel that I grew up with. It's the Black Captain Marvel, because that's actually my Captain Marvel. That's the character I grew up knowing.
They would never have done that. I don't even know how that would have came into your mind as like.
Because they had the little girl right there. It's like, and she had the same name. It's like, oh my goodness, that's her. That's the future Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be the future Captain Marvel, I'm sure.
You know?
And you know what? Odds are we see her as Captain Marvel when they're time traveling in Endgame.
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet.
Okay, we got another kind of comment here. Sorry, we really need a way on. The first end credit scene was amazing, and again, this is from Stephen.
Yeah.
The second end credit was disappointing. It was similar to what they did with the Ant-Man and the Wasp credits. Now,
I don't even remember what they did.
Ant-Man and the Wasp credit, I remember the first one is when they did the snapshot.
Right, and he's in the.
half of people
that
got
was
snapped.
cool.
That one, yeah. But the second one, I'm trying to remember. Maybe if you want to like drop kind of a brief description of what it was. I remember it was something that was kind of underwhelming. I kind of relate it actually more to kind of like the Spider-Man, like Captain America Patience one.
Oh, the Captain
You know-
America Patience one. It was funny.
That's actually
It was funny, but that was like really cruel.
Yeah, that was
to do
mean.
that. That was
But
mean,
yeah,
Marvel, to do that.
It was just kind of one of the funny ones. I mean,
Right.
at the end, it's for those of you, anyone who's watching, because this will be posted afterwards. Who doesn't know? It's the scene at the very end of the movie where the cat vomits up the Tesseract on Nick
Yeah.
Fury's desk. Now, from a comedic standpoint,
It was funny.
it was funny. As in terms
I almost
of,
threw up. I'm actually in the movie theater, and the cat is going. And I'm like, It's like, oh, don't do that to me.
The second one was the giant ant playing.
Oh,
the drums.
you're right.
That sucked.
You're
Oh
right.
my gosh, you're
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
That was awful.
That was really bad.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
totally right.
Yeah, you're bang on. Okay, so
Totally
Steven was just
forgettable.
making the comparison in between the Ant-Man and the Wasp end credit scene where it's a giant ant who's playing the drum set to the Captain Marvel end
Yeah.
credit scene with the cat throwing up the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand where you're coming from. It's this comedy for a little giggle. It's to get you to watch all the credits.
It keeps
and
you to
then
the end, right?
Keeps you
It
to the
keeps-
very
yeah.
end. I hope that didn't become a thing now. I mean, that drummer ant man, that's something, all
It was
right.
pretty brutal. Yeah. So,
Goodness.
so Captain Marvel, final decision because we're in our driveway now, so we're gonna jump into the house.
Yeah.
For me, just completely forgettable. In no way, got me any more excited for Endgame. If it was never made, it wouldn't change anything. I would have preferred they just dropped Carol Danvers shows up in Endgame and then do the origin story later.
I agree.
They did that worked actually
They did that
really
with Black
well with Black
Panther.
Panther.
That
He
worked
showed up
really
in
good.
Civil War,
Yeah.
then had his independent movie.
So I
did that with
don't know why they
Spider-Man,
felt the
show
need
up
to
in-
do that.
in Civil War.
That's actually
then
kind of an
having-
interesting point.
They should have just dropped Captain Marvel in Endgame and everyone be like, oh my goodness, who's this? And then done the origin story. Because right now, to push out this origin story so close to Endgame, it just felt, the movie from a production value for me felt rushed.
Yeah.
The writing was sloppy. The acting was subpar. Even for a superhero movie, it was subpar. This movie felt very rushed in being made. The CG, the special effects,
Special effects were decent till like one scene.
they were decent, but they weren't
for the
great.
Kree, but
The Skrulls, they
sorry.
were cool. The masks looked terrible.
Yeah.
They looked terrible.
it looked
So-
like someone with like Botox.
Yeah, exactly.
They like, move a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my thoughts.
That's your
They
thoughts?
shouldn't have
Yeah.
rushed it. They should have done a better job slowly introducing character because there's a whole world already there, and to just slap someone in here now as the most powerful hero in the Marvel
Yeah.
Cinematic Universe, and without,
Okay.
I would have preferred they would have done it the opposite way.
We'll try and cut this by the 30-minute mark because we're pretty well already there.
Yeah.
Thoughts quickly. If this movie never existed, I wouldn't have minded. I think it would have been a smarter decision to have her come into Endgame and then give her origin story afterwards, like they did Black Panther. That worked out fairly well for that. If somebody really likes this movie, that's understandable to me. Like, you might say it's cool, but like for me, it's like I could understand how someone would enjoy this film.
Well, and I know a lot of people like the character. And
Yeah.
again, I've never read this character. I don't know this character.
Yeah.
Again, the only comic books I still read today is Superman. DC. Yeah. Aquaman. Video for
sucked.
another time.
Aquaman sucked.
Yeah. I'm just glad I had a front ticket. And this is the biggest thing. This is why I'm so nitpicky of the movie. When it's all four of us, it was just the boys tonight. But I love when all four of us go to the movies and we get, good seats and popcorn and make an event of it. And it's not cheap, right? Like, these movies are not cheap. Like, for us to go out the four of us and have a really good family day at the movies, it's over $100. And for me to slap down as a hardworking dad, to slap down $100. Make it worth my $100. Don't give me stale popcorn and stale acting and bad writing, okay? Or I'm gonna stay home and I'm gonna find something else to do. So, anyways, those are just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Any closing thought? Did I ruin it for you?
No.
Okay, I hope not.
I'm not gonna let you ruin movies for me anymore because you used to.
I don't want to ruin anyone.
Yeah, I know.
If you enjoy it, enjoy it.
I don't think you'll ruin movies for anyone else. Just
Yeah.
me being like your son, I always had like, my dad is a genius, so it must be a bad movie.
Wow, well, now you're almost 18, so you've learned that I'm not.
Yeah.
So now you can see the real me.
Yeah. Now we can have these healthy arguments, debates.
Exactly. Just a little fun.
A little bit of fun.
Anyways, We're gonna turn off the car here, head on inside. So thanks for joining in. Would love to hear your thoughts on Captain Marvel. Loved it, hate it. Put it in the comments below, and we'll talk to you soon. Alrighty, take care.
Adios.